Welcome to MC Travelogue. On this episode, we'll be exploring a location called Space Village. And how this came to be is I wanted to build a large settlement, kind of a village, but I didn't want to mess up the landscape, the terrain. I wanted to leave it for the wildlife, like the cows and the ducks. So what I did was I built 4 quartz columns and a big quartz platform. And on top of that is where I built all the buildings. So here's the main entrance. Welcome to Space Village. And there are 2 stairways. That was the original one. This one was added later when Paige created this train station, which goes to Will's house. We'll look at that in a future episode. So getting back up here, the look of the village, I based it kind of like on the 60s and 70s sci-fi, kind of like the 2001 Space Odyssey, the white and the blue. So right now, most of the buildings look the same because we haven't really moved in and established what each building is yet. But the centerpiece would be this big tower in the middle, and it's called Jupiter Tower. So you go inside, and in the lobby, you see this waterfall fountain going on. Now this travels down through every floor. Oh, what's this? Oh, Paige must have put a chest in here. So if we go up to the second floor, you can see the waterfall still flowing through there. And the third floor. Now up on the 4th floor, I've got this aqueduct that goes out of the building, and you can see where the waterfall goes down, and it goes down into a river that goes past the village. But what I did was I built a train track that goes through the waterfall, and there's a glass tunnel built there. That's why the water parts like it does. So we'll take a ride on that in a little while here. But it keeps going. Now this is where the waterfall fountain thing stops. Now there are additional levels above this. I just haven't added the staircase yet. And this building is just going to keep getting taller and taller. Plan on whenever I've got a few minutes, I'll just add a couple floors now and then. Now coming out of this side of the building, let's see, this side here, there's a tunnel that connects up to another building. And this is the building that Paige has claimed for her house. This is her residence in Space Village. You can see she has plenty of beds for sleepovers. In fact, you'll see a lot of times in our houses we've got 3 beds or more. That's because when we're building things in the same area, when it gets to be sunset, we'll all hop in bed and sleep through the night. Then we wake up the next morning and continue our work. So she's got a table, she's got her pictures, plants, very well decorated actually. Okay, out here we have a couple of buildings that are connected by a skywalk, and underneath a little plaza area with a fountain. We can go through here and take a look at the skywalk. Again, not sure really what all these buildings are going to be for, but they're here. It's kind of like just build it and they'll come. You can see the creepers. They love the village. Now, in the village, there are 2 different train stations. There's the Space Village East and Space Village West. So let me head right over to one of the train stations. One happens to be right over here. Okay, now this is west, I believe. Yep. Now, the train track goes on. There's Will's house that Paige had her train system go to. Hers are the pink and red. Mine are the white tracks. So this actually goes to Will's house, but then it circles around and comes back to Space Village. So it just does a big loop. Now, I didn't want to use valuable real estate up on top of the platform, so I lowered the train track underneath, so it's kind of suspended underneath, as you can see. And that's how the train gets from one station to another within the village. Now, we'll take a ride on that soon. Let's see. The other train station is in the other corner. But there is one other building I wanted to show you at this end of the village, and that is this one over here. It's got a different look to it, a different architecture, almost Asian looking. If you go up the steps on this one, and this one's a pretty tall building also, but there are two observation decks. This first one is here. You can overlook the forest, and there's the river that I told you about. It circles around the village. And back over here, near this pyramid, is what's called the Moon Garden. And I'll show you that on a future episode. But that train there, track, that goes to the Moon Garden. And there's actually a walkway. You can't see it very well from here. Maybe we can see it up here. There's a walkway that's a pathway that you can walk to the Moon Garden. No, you can't really see it here either. But anyway, so that goes to the Moon Garden back in that area, and there's the Broken Village back in there. And here's a good overlook of the village, Space Village. And then there's all kinds of things out here I'll eventually show. So that's kind of what the village looks like from up here. And you can see 4 more floors are already in development. All right, let's get out of this building and we'll take a train ride. I'll show you the sights from the train. Okay, we'll just go back to the Station West. It says right here. We'll ride the train on over to Station East. Now, right here, there's a flight of stairs that goes down. This is to the Moon Garden. So that's the walkway I talked about, and there's a wooden bridge, and it walks through the woods. It's kind of a scenic route to get to the Moon Garden. All right, let's head over here, back to the train station. Let's go ahead and throw a cart on here. And here we go. We'll go underneath the city, the village. There's the walkway. Okay. Now we are at Space Village East Station. Now, oops. This particular track here goes to the Moon Garden, like I said. We won't take that ride in this episode. This one goes to Game Zone. This is the one that goes up through the waterfall. So let's go ahead and ride this one. Under the water. Okay, and here we are at the Game Zone. It's just a bunch of mini games that Will has built out in this field. So the left track is where we came from, Space Village, and the right track goes to the Broken Village. That'll be on a different episode. And this one continues on to Will's house, so let's go ahead and go check that out. Now this goes through this large stone wall, actually inside the wall. Okay, and here's Will's house. And what it is, it's an elevated platform with 3 different houses actually, one for each of the kids and one for me. And what you see there, the blue and the glass, those are their suspended swimming pools. We're not going to get out here. I'll show you this in a different episode. Over there you can see the Space Village off in the distance. So let's go ahead and head back to Space Village. There's all kinds of things to look at. We've built quite a bit in this area. Okay, and here we are back at Space Station, the Station West. All right, and now we'll go down this hallway here. It takes us back to the entrance. So that concludes our tour of Space Village. Thanks for watching, and come back for another episode of MC Travelogue.